It is an absolute honor to be here celebrating mothers all over the world. And I'm in tears at the beauty of what we've been listening to and hearing, and the fact that Teresa has put this event together with the intention to not only celebrate mothers, but also feed children on 3 continents around the world. I'm touched so deeply and so profoundly by the love of human beings for other human beings. No one around the world needs to suffer. And the only thing separating us from another person and from that love is the obstacles that we put in front of ourselves, our limiting beliefs, our stories, our doubts, our fears, our worries. I believe that love is the willing exchange of oneself for oneness, the willing exchange of oneself for oneness, meaning dropping the ego, letting go of the ego, letting go of me first, letting go of my concerns that I don't have enough for me, but instead recognizing that there's plenty, plenty to be shared with others, plenty to be filled, for you to be filled with. There is no limit to the universe. The universe is infinite. And sometimes people like to say that the universe is filled with love. And I think that's absolutely beautiful. So for me, I think it is important that we have an idea of what love is. Some people ask and they say, is God love? And one of my teachers said, love is the fragrance that emanates from the divine. Just drink that in for a second. Love is the fragrance that emanates from the divine. I love that. That is so beautiful to me. For me, there is nothing more beautiful in the world than love. Love is what connects us. Love is what binds us. Love is what brings us together. And this idea of letting go of our ego so that we can be in oneness. Love is the willingness, the willing exchange of oneself for oneness, meaning letting go of my ego. And if you've ever really, truly loved, think about it right now. Pause for just a moment and feel love. Look at someone in your house with you. Excuse me. Look at a favorite plant or a favorite pet. Like just out in my backyard, I have 2 Palo Verde trees, and their Palo Verde trees are green bark with these beautiful, this time of year, these beautiful, delicate little yellow flowers all over them. And they just, when they fall off, they dust the ground with this beautiful yellow carpet. And when I look at them, I can just feel this connection with them. And so this idea of exchanging oneself, our ego, my separate self, my separateness for oneness means that when you really look at this other person, you really look at your favorite pet, you really think about your own mom today, or you think about the children in another country or in our own country that might be suffering or struggling, or the laughter of a child. When you think about that and you feel that sense of love in your heart, you feel that sense of joy, that sense of affection, that sense of softness and tenderness and humility and patience and just expansiveness that occurs with love. When you do this, what happens is you start to realize when you truly love, the sense of who you are starts to wash away. The boundaries of your own body wash away. The boundaries of your own mind wash away. The only thing left is love. The only thing left is the unity and the connection between you and that thing, me and the beautiful yellow flower blossoms in my backyard, right? There's just this presence with a capital P. For me, I believe that being present is limiting, but being in the presence is liberating. Being in the present is limiting, but being in the presence is liberating. Now, why do I say that? Because to me, we look at this question of, is God love? To me, and the answer being, well, love is just the fragrance that emanates from the divine. To me, if that's the case, I want to float on that. I want to float on that fragrance. I want to smell it and just let it just lift my being completely up, and I float away like Aladdin's carpet, right? Just floating magically on that fragrance. In fact, I remember this experience driving through Palm Springs years and years and years ago, 10, 15, 20 years ago, driving through Palm Springs, and it happened to be spring, and all the orange blossoms and lemon blossoms were flowering at just the right time. And I just remember thinking that Palm Springs in that moment smelled like heaven. And I just floated through Palm Springs as we drove, as we stopped for dinner. the whole time I just felt this sense of bliss, like I was floating, like there was no weight, no separation, no disconnection, no worry, no chaos, no struggle inside my body or my mind. Just this ever presence of life, of love, of gratitude, of appreciation. And so for me, it's really important that we think about love in at least three ways. The Greeks believed that love was so important that they created 8 different words for love, for 8 different kinds of love. And I would argue that we could even add 2 or 3 or 10 more onto that because of the subtleties of love. We say all the time, "Oh, I love them. I love that person. I love this thing." There are different ways of loving: a familial love, loving our families, loving our friends, loving somebody romantically, having an unconditional divine love. There are all these different ways of love. So for me, I think it's important that we realize that there are at least 3 things that we should look at. Love of self. Do you love you? And if you don't love you, understand this. Don't seek more. Don't seek to love yourself more. Don't seek to love others more. Don't even seek to love God more. Don't seek to love more. This seems weird, right? Because I'm talking about love. Don't seek to love more, but instead remove the obstacles separating you from love. Remove the obstacles separating you from love, meaning let go of what's holding you back. Let go of those limiting beliefs, those stories, that anger, that frustration, that disappointment, that hurt. Let that go. Because when you let this go, all of a sudden what happens is you begin to open up. And when you open up, you become receptive. And so letting go or forgiving, and these are not the same thing, but they're intimately connected. Loving, letting go opens you up to be able to forgive. And when you forgive and you let go, you have this ability, this openness and this receptivity. And when you're open and receptive, meaning there's not some mental chatter, there's not some chaos, there's not some distraction, all of a sudden you become more aware of what's around you. You become aware of the smells of your food, the taste of your food, the textures of your clothes, the softness of somebody's skin, the way the light hits someone's eyes that you love, right? The smell of flowers on the wafting through the air. This awareness then leads you to a level of appreciation. And appreciation is this, if you look at the word appreciate comes from a word meaning to appraise. And when you appraise something, you set a value for something. So whether we like something or we dislike something, we are always appraising it. We're always appreciating it. Do I like this? Do I not like this? Do I want more of this? Do I not want any more of this? Right? And so when we get so full of appreciation, so full of this beautiful appreciation, this love that's inside of us, what happens is this love, this appreciation, when we're so filled with the things that we like and the things that we appreciate and the things that taste good and smell good and feel good and the thoughts that we're having that are bringing us up and the gratitude that we're having, this gratitude is what becomes of appreciation. When appreciation spills out, appreciation is the internal awareness of things that I like, things that I appreciate, things that I enjoy, things that I love, right? And when we have so much appreciation and it spills out, the spilling out of appreciation is gratitude. This gratitude leads us to being thankful to something, thankful to others, even thankful to ourselves, because the sense goes out and comes back in, right? So gratitude is an external expression of thanks. And then what's beautiful is in this path of letting go and forgiving, becoming open and receptive to the things that we can be aware of with our senses: sight, smell, taste, touch, emotional feelings. And then from that space, we begin to appreciate what we like and what we don't like. And then we get so full of this appreciation, we get so full of the things that we love that we fill with gratitude, and it spills out. And it spills out this sense of thanks, this thanksgiving to friends and family and somebody who slows down to let you in traffic, right? And some of you might be saying, well, that doesn't happen very often. Then be that one. Be that one that lets someone else feel appreciation and gratitude. And so when you feel that sense of gratitude, what happens is you develop this little sense of humility, this little secret sense of humility. And this secret sense of humility is the secret door to love. Once you're in this state of gratitude, being thankful for things that you have, the strength that you have, the ability to breathe on your own, the food that you're eating today, the food that you eat tomorrow, the fact that you have a loving mom, a loving father, a family, a friend, the fact that you have eyes to see and a nose to smell and ears to hear, right? When you have this sense of thankfulness, this external expression of thank goodness, thank you for giving me everything that I am and everything that I have. When you have that, that door of humility opens. And what's on the other side of that door is love. And this creates a loop. The more you love, the more you let go, the more you forgive, the more open and receptive you are. The more open and receptive you are, the more aware you are of the things to be appreciating, the things that you can feel grateful for. And the more you have that sense of gratitude, the more humble you become. And the more humble you become, the more you love. And the more you wrap through this or cycle through this process, the more that love becomes unconditional love, agape love, love of the divine, love that comes through you and to others. One of my closest friends likes to say, there are only two conversations that we ever have. One, I love you. And the other is, I want or need to be loved by you. So I would encourage you today to practice not only loving yourself and loving others and loving God, but learn to love in a way, again, loving yourself and others and God. Learn to love in a way that the other person feels free. Learn to love in a way, loving yourself in a way that you begin to feel free of your own judgments. Let those go. Learn to love in a way that you accept the free flow of the divine into your life. Love in a way that others and yourself feel free. And Teresa, I just want to tell you, this is an incredible honor to be on this first event with you, supporting Mom's House of Children and children on 3 different continents, and all of these mothers celebrating Mother's Day in this way couldn't be more beautiful than if, aside from if I was with my mom in this present moment. So I wanted to say thank you very much. And anyone who's watched this far, I would ask you and encourage you, please look inside of your heart and recognize you have plenty. There's more than enough to give. We live in a world of abundance. Give what you can. Mother Teresa said this. She said, when somebody asked her, they said, Mother Teresa, how much should I give? And she said, give until it hurts. But I like to say this instead. Give until it feels good. Give until it feels really, really good. And then you'll know that you're giving with love.